So XS overall, I've got to say I enjoyed. The levels are well designed, the core Crash gameplay is as fun as ever, it's still a bit still 100%, but that wasn't a huge deal to me. The boss fights are great and the power-ups are fun to use. The game does have a truckload of issues though, mostly to do with how visuals trick you into making inconsistent jumps, and some of the moves being too finicky to consistently rely on. The game looks great and sounds just okay, and I do really like the premise, it's just a shame it's essentially a mishmash of Crash 2 and 3 put onto the Game Boy Advance with little originality. They're brand new levels, don't get me wrong, but it's wearing the clothes of another game and that's a big shame. I don't usually care much about originality, but here it's not masked well and it can be distracting.
The back of the box says Classic Crash, and I think that's pretty spot on. It's its own thing, but it takes so much from the PS1 Classic that it results in this really weird end product where it's its own game, but you can't help feeling you've done it all before. So let's see if Crash Bandicoot 2 N-Tranced can fix that. So there's N-Tranced, and while it still borrows heavily from Crash 3 and some elements of Wrath of Cortex, I do believe this one to be the better of the two.
Its bosses are more exciting, the levels are more fun to play due to the more vivid themes and excellent soundtrack, and most of all, it's just a more comfortable experience. It's weird to say because they got more game overs with N-Tranced, but I do think it is the easier game, in the sense of trying to get all the collectibles anyway. There's a lot less crates in this game because of all the weird gimmick levels, but combine that with the ease of getting the coloured gem shards, I much prefer this to the ball ache of XS.
So while I do prefer N-Tranced, probably due to nostalgia, let's be real here, I do think both of these games have been underrated for a really long time, and understandably so, because they can just be seen as Crash 2 and 3, but lesser. But I do feel there is enough to be enjoyed here, even on the game's own merits. And since we didn't get many good Crash games after the original trilogy, I think it's best that we savour the good ones that we did get, even if they fly a bit close to copied homework in some areas. With all that said though, it's not like these games offer anything new to the Crash series, or platformers in general. And in a world now where we can play the original trilogy on a handheld, and newer games in the series too, I do find these games to be a harder sell. But by God, are they the answer to the Antichrist. Oh no!
Let the power of Crash compel you!